Hey everyone, I am making a video today about jam timing. I was hoping that we would be able to meet in person for all of you that are interested in learning some NSO positions, but I actually think this will be a little bit easier because then we have the video on hand if you want to share it with any significant others or friends or family or people in the future who may be interested in learning some of these positions. I just ask that you please don't share it on like your personal pages for the public because I just don't want that out there. Thank you. We can share it privately for people that are interested, but I don't want it just out for everyone to use. So I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. If you have more questions after, that's great. I'm hoping you can just watch the video, maybe watch some derby and pay attention and practice a little bit while watching the clocks if you're watching some derby videos. And then if you come to practice and practice there while we're scrimmaging, especially Tuesday, that would be great. I know it'll take a little bit of practice and it might seem a little overwhelming today, but it's pretty easy once you understand and watch derby how it's happening. It's very simple. Especially we're talking about jam timing today. That's one of the easiest things to start with because there's no paperwork. So let's get started. I'm on my phone, so it's not the best, but that's what I have, so that's what we're going with. First of all, what is NSO? If you don't know, it's non-skating official. And that's really great for people who are interested in helping out with derby, don't want to skate, aren't ready to skate yet, but still want to be involved in this world and help out. It's awesome. They can still be a part and help out, but don't have to skate, don't have to hit, and don't have to know a ton about derby yet. This is a great way to get started. So jam timer responsibilities. They're going to time each jam, which is up to 2 minutes. They time the 30 seconds between each jam. They're going to time team timeouts, official reviews, official timeouts, and they call off the jams that aren't called off by the refs. So how do you start a game? Games are, well, first of all, you're going to talk to the head refs. All the NSOs and the head ref and skating officials will all come together before a game, and you're going to talk about how the game is going to go. The head ref is usually in charge of all of those people, and they will let you know how they like certain things to go. So the head ref will say, hey, I like to yell 30 seconds on the track right before the game starts, or they're going to give one long rolling whistle. The head ref will let you know, and if you ever have any questions, because some head refs do it differently, that's the time to ask. The head ref is in charge of all that. That's a great time to ask. Other than that, you're going to be the one blowing the first whistle to start that game. So once the head ref does give you the okay and says, hey, everyone's ready, skaters are on the track, you as the jam timer are going to be facing the pack, the skaters on the track. Extend your left hand in the air, fingers outstretched like a high five, and I know this is backwards for you. You're going to yell 5 seconds loud enough for the skaters and refs to hear you. After 5 seconds, you're going to drop your hand in front of the foremost blocker with one short whistle blast. So you're going to blow the whistle, drop your hand, and a lot of times pointing towards the pivot line. You just have to make sure that you are in front of the foremost skaters. So you might not be right at the pivot line, but you have to make sure you're in front of all of the skaters so they can all see you. At the same time, you're going to begin the stopwatch. If it's the very first jam of the game or the very first jam of the second period, you're going to be starting both stopwatches, which I'm going to explain later, but you're going to start, because you have 2 stopwatches, the period stopwatch and the jam stopwatch. I'm going to give you an example of how you're going to blow your whistle because there's a lot of different whistles being blown during derby. So that's a jam start whistle. It's one quick short whistle. Okay, so this is how you're going to start each jam. 5 seconds. At the same time, starting your stopwatch. So 5 seconds, blow the whistle, bam, start the stopwatch. That's what you're mostly going to be doing for the whole game, other than timeouts, which we're going to go over. When doing following jams, and you're going to be yelling the 5 seconds in between all of the other jams. Well, first of all, there's 30 seconds in between each jam. Let me go back. So the jams end after 2 minutes or less. But there's going to be 30 seconds in between each jam. That gives enough time for skaters that were on the track to get off and new skaters to enter the track. That 30 seconds, you're going to give a warning when there are only 5 seconds left. You're going to yell again, 5 seconds, loud enough for the skaters and refs to hear. You need to say the word 5 when there are exactly 5 seconds left. So you shouldn't be saying the word seconds when there's 5 seconds left. You need to be saying the word 5 when there's exactly 5 seconds left. So just time it correctly. Again, you're going to be repeating that for all of the jams throughout the game, except for when timeouts come up. So how does a jam end? Usually, a jam is going to be ended by a lead jammer calling it off, and then a ref is going to blow the whistle. When the ref blows the whistle, which is going to sound like this, 4 short whistle blasts. 1, 2, 3, 4. The lead jam ref is going to blow that once, and then all the other refs are going to echo it twice. So you're going to hear boop, 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 boop. You're going to hear it 3 times. You, as the jam timer, are going to reset your stopwatch on the 4th blast of that first group of 4. So when the jam ref blows 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 4th one, that's when you're resetting it. Okay? There are going to be times, if the jam goes the full 2 minutes, that you are going to be the one blowing the whistle and ending it. So, let's say there's, for example, a power jam, or it's just gonna, there was penalties and it's gonna go the full 2 minutes. You, when the 2 minutes is coming up, you are gonna put a peace sign in the air to indicate 2 minutes. You're gonna blow 4 whistles, and you're gonna reset your stopwatch at the exact time of 2 minutes. And this indicates that it's 2 minutes, and that lets everyone know the jam has ended. It's been 2 minutes, and it's resetting the stopwatch. 30 seconds is starting in between. It is suggested that you hold up 5 seconds before the 2 minutes is up. Just hold up a high five again. Maybe make some eye contact with the head ref. Just to give, you don't have to say anything, just kind of giving them a warning, like, hey, there's like 5 seconds left. So they know that it's coming. That's it. It's all about communication. Alright, that's it for that. Next is timeouts. Alright, timeouts. Each team receives 3 timeouts for the game, and they are 60 seconds each. How a timeout is called is teams will give a signal to the refs, and this is not during a jam, it'll be in the 30 seconds in between jams. They'll signal to the refs timeout by a captain, and the ref will blow the 4 whistles again. You will stop the period clock. You will go stand in front of the pivot line. This is to like physically block the skaters from skating. You're going to make a T with your hand, and you're going to say, let's say it was the black team, you're going to say timeout team black and indicate towards their bench. So timeout team black, timeout team black. You're going to time it for 60 seconds. exactly 60 seconds. To indicate that the timeout is done, you're going to blow a long rolling whistle, which I'm going to play for you. I'll do it again. Okay. You're going to move off the track once you blow that whistle. The 30 seconds then, in between jams, will resume. The period clock has not started. So again, the 30 seconds will start. You will say 5 seconds. You will blow the whistle to start the jam, and at that same time you will restart the period clock and the jam clock. So it's just like you're restarting the game again, because during the timeout you have stopped the period clock and you have set a timer for 60 seconds for the timeout. Everything resumes as normal. Let's move on to official timeouts. Officials will let you know when they are calling an official timeout. There is no time limit, and they can take as many as they need during the game. To signal an official timeout, you're going to go stand on the pivot line. You have stopped the period clock. You're going to go stand on the pivot line and tap your shoulders with your fingertips, and you're going to stand there until they tell you they're done. You will blow the long rolling whistle once they tell you they're done. Remove yourself from the track, and they will let you know if they need that 30 seconds in between to resume the jams or not. They might say, hey, we're ready, we're all set, we've taken enough time, go ahead, do the 5 seconds, and let's get going. If all the skaters are on the track, they will just let you know. That's not a call you're going to have to make on your own. They'll let you know. You're going to start the period clock and the jam clock at the same time again. Bam, done. Everything resumes as normal. Official reviews. 1 per period per team. So official reviews, everything is the same. And the period clock, the teams have signaled with an O to the refs. The refs will let you know, okay, we're doing an official review. You're going to go stand again in front of the pivot line, make an O, say official review, team black, official review, team black. This again, there's no time limit. You're going to stand there until the officials say, all right, we're all set. You're going to blow the long rolling whistle. Remove yourself from the track. The officials, again, will let you know it's a soft 30 seconds. We don't need the 30 seconds, or we do need the 30 seconds. Everyone's ready to go. Blow the 5 seconds, or yell the 5 seconds. Restart the period clock and the jam clock at the same time. Resume as normal. Everything is very repetitious, as you can tell. I think that is it for that. Okay, let's move on to stopwatches then, which is what I keep getting hung up on. Okay, there are a few suggestions for stopwatches. You are going to have 2, maybe 3, like maybe a third in your back pocket in case you have an issue. There are jam timing apps that you can use for your phone. I suggest that you learn how to use stopwatches, because we know that you can't always rely on phones or apps. Things happen, phones die, things stop working. You just can't always rely on them. It's good to learn how to be able to use stopwatches if you're put in a position where all you have is a stopwatch. So the jam timing apps are pretty self-explanatory. If you know how to use the stopwatches, you're going to know how to use the apps. I'm going to go over just the stopwatches. Some suggestions are, since you have a few stopwatches, how are you going to tell which one is which? 1, you can label just with some duct tape, have different colors, label 1 the period clock, 1 the jam clock. You can have 1 around your neck, longer than the other, and 1 shorter. So let's say the longer one is the jam one and the shorter one is the period clock. Or have 2 different colors. You can have a black one and a yellow one, so you know which one is which. Some people have 1 around their neck, let's say that's the period one, and 1 tied around the wrist, and that's their jam one, so they constantly have it in their hand. Especially, let's say if you have it on your right hand, for your jam clock, and you're making the signals when you're doing the timeouts. So it's right here all the time. It's always in your hand, and you don't have to worry about grabbing it. It's always in your hand. Some put like the period clock on their belt loop because you're not touching it very often. You have to figure out what works for you if you're going to be doing this more often. For the period clock, you are setting it to 30 minutes because there are 30-minute periods in a game. You're setting it to 30 minutes and counting down from there. It's just going from the very first jam when you start the period, from the first jam, you're going to start the period clock and the first jam at the very same time. It's going continuously from there unless you're stopping it for timeouts, official reviews. That's the only time you're stopping it. You don't stop it for the 30 seconds in between jams, only for timeouts and official reviews and official timeouts. So let's go to the jam stopwatch. The best method I have found, and I keep getting hung up on this, and so I'm sorry if I don't explain this very well. If you have questions, ask me if you see me in person. I'm going to try. It's hard without a stopwatch. What you're going to do, it's called the 2:30 method. You're going to set your stopwatch to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's because jams go up to a maximum of 2 minutes, and there will always be 30 seconds in between jams. That's always going to happen. So set it to 2 minutes, 30 seconds. That way, if a jam ends, all you have to do, press stop and reset. You're not fumbling around, you're just pressing stop, reset. So a jam ends, let's say the refs blow that fourth whistle real quick, you're going stop, reset. The 30 seconds is going right away, instantly. You didn't lose a second. So it's counting down from 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's going to say 2:05. At 2:05, you're going to yell 5 seconds. When it says 2 minutes, that's when you're going to say, you're going to blow the whistle. Then it's automatically counting down from 2 minutes already. If the jam goes the full 2 minutes, at 2 minutes, you're going to blow the whistle and you're going to press stop, reset. And your stopwatch is automatically going to go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds again. I hope that makes sense. Instead of having to constantly reset at 30 seconds and then reset at 2 minutes and then at 30 seconds, and then if it goes less than 2 minutes, you're resetting again and stopping and resetting again. You only have to stop and reset at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I do suggest watching a game and watching the clock and pretending you're their jam timing. That's what I did after I read all of this stuff and learned. It made a lot more sense. I am going to leave it at that. This was a little bit long. I hope this made sense. If you have questions, go ahead. If you can come to practice, please come to practice. It will help. It'll make sense the more you do it. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you. Bye.